welcome. It is Thursday night. Welcome to the Cantina Happy Hour. Pull up a chair, grab yourself a drink, and let's talk about some Star Wars. I am your host, David. With me, as always, are my co-hosts, Debbie. Debbie, how are you this evening?
Good.
Okay. Just good.
I'm just itching to start talking. So
all right.
I'm good.
Also with us tonight is Cam from Cam and Focus. How are you, sir?
I am so tired. I'm literally moving tomorrow.
Wow.
So all that implies. And I'm not feeling the greatest because I have the big life change bubble guts going on. So I'm sure you know how it is.
Yep. Also with us is Andrew. Andrew.
I'm doing good. I'm really excited to talk about these episodes.
Awesome. Now, before we get started, because we're on Andor, we're in episodes 7, 8, and 9. And before we get into these episodes, Debbie, you're probably a little more versed in this than I am. I have been watching the TikToks. Has anybody said anything bad about any of this? Not only about this season, but about these 3 episodes? Because if they are, we should probably
just talk to them, you know.
We should just kick them out of the world.
There's been a few, I mean, the usual suspects, you know, this is boring, it's too slow. No lightsabers, no Jedi, and then you had
Star Wars, you know.
Too boring and too slow. Oh my god.
And then a certain somebody who complained about a attempted SA. That wouldn't happen with the Empire.
No, forget that. I'm just talking about these 3 episodes too, because these 3 episodes, God, you see this Lego set behind me here? This is the UCS Slave 1. I was watching Andor, the Andor series, and I was putting this Lego set together. I had to take my wife medicine to work because she was feeling ill. So I took her medicine. I didn't get started on Andor till 9, which means I didn't get done till almost midnight. I went to bed late. I had to put my Lego set aside because I had to sit and just
absorb it all.
Oh my gosh. This was insane and beautiful and perfectly timed. The music was intense. It was great.
These episodes, I like specifically 8 and 9. I don't say this lightly. Have to be 2 of the best episodes of TV I've ever seen. Not just Star Wars, but I mean TV in general. Yeah.
I mean, we as fans knew that this was coming, and we knew we were excited for it. And I say we were excited. It's a massacre. We don't know. But we knew it's, you know what it's like? It's like we knew it was part of the history and part of the lore, but we've never seen it before. It's like the Siege at Mandalore. And then when they finally did that Clone Wars arc with the Siege at Mandalore, and it was just like, because we were seeing our Star Wars history unfold before us. It wasn't just a story on a page anymore. It was real, and we could see it and absorb it and feel the emotions, feel the tensions. And my God, they did an amazing job with these. All 3 episodes were great. 8 is probably, I agree with you, Andrew. That was probably some of the best TV I've seen ever. And anybody that says differently needs to be drug out into the street and whacked with a garden hose.
Yeah.
Because they don't know squat.
To quote Peter Griffin, I just want to talk to him.
I just want to shoot him.
Just for a minute.
Well, to answer your question on that, I've seen a few, not many, because the majority of it, people are loving it. They're loving this whole season, not just this arc, but the whole season.
Yeah, it's again, I can't say enough about this. Cam, what were your thoughts on all of it?
It was probably some of the most intense Star Wars I've ever seen in my life. I'm a big Star Wars apologist for a lot of the things that are a little bit lesser beloved. But stuff like this, it reminds me it reminds me of the fact that yes, this franchise is growing up with me, and I really appreciate it for that.
Yeah, this arc was just, and I think I told you this, Dave, in our chat, that this arc was just one big roller coaster. I mean, I was tense. My jaw was on the floor. I was sad. I was emotional. I was happy. I mean, it was just like, you know, I didn't know what emotion to land on. It's just all over the place.
Now, well, sometimes the complicated emotions are the best ones.
Well, and it was so well done too. I mean, as far as the acting goes, as far as the writing goes, like I said, the music was spot on. It was, yeah, like I said, I had to put my Legos aside. And this was one of those things too. This was like, there were the scene in Solo where they're making the Kessel Run, when they're leaving Kessel and they're in the mall and they're all this other stuff. In the theater, I'm sitting there and I'm just like, I'm on the edge of my seat. And I was just like, and still to this day, that scene gets me because it's so intense and so good. And it's like, come on. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, idiot, you know he's going to make it. You know he's going to be fine because he's going to show up in the other movies. And
three of the main characters are in here.
Exactly. 3 or 4 of the main characters here. Yeah. I think we'll be all right. But again, this was the same thing to where you had Cassian in this situation, and I was just like, okay, what's happening? What's going to happen? Edge of my seat, and in the back of my mind, it's like, idiot, you know he's going to be in the movie. I
don't think it was. At least for me, it wasn't concerned as to what was going to happen to him because, like you said, you know, we see him in Rogue One, but it was the other characters, Dedra, Cyril.
I was going to say, I don't remember what the actor's name is, but the guy who plays Cyril. His acting was phenomenal in this episode.
He's so good.
When he finally blows a gasket with Deidre, and it's like, you tell me what's going on here.
I was going to say, because even from the beginning of this arc, you know, this is a year later than the previous 3, and he seems to have grown a pair.
Yes,
he's a lot.
The
more
lights
aggressive.
Get to stay on. You know?
Yeah, the lights get. Yeah, he wears the pants now. He knows what's up.
Yeah, but like in episode 7, he's like starting to hear stuff, and of course, you know, he even confronts Dedra. You know, why are you keeping things from me? And this was in episode 7. I mean, he does it again in 9 with more force.
In 8. In 8.
Or 8.
Yeah.
But yeah, he you know, he's hearing and seeing things, but he's so indoctrined with the Empire that, oh, it's just a rumor, you know, that's rumor. I mean, you know, he even tells some of the rebel people, you know, that's just rumor. You know, I was put here to investigate, you know, the outside and instigators, He still believes all this. And, but, you know, even with that mind thought that he has going on, I think he still has some misgivings because he's seeing things with his own eyes, but he's still in denial.
Yeah.
And it's not until it's too late that he's just realizes everything he thought is a lie.
And Dedra knows exactly what's going on too, but she won't tell him.
Yeah, he was a patsy.
So it was, and honestly too, I thought she was going to get it in this one. I really did.
I did too.
Cassian had a shot several times.
He had like 3 shots on her, but she like walked away so fast.
Yeah.
He still could have shot her. There was a couple times where,
He shot her in the back.
Yeah.
like, oh my God, just shoot.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about that the first episode. So what was it, 7?
Mm-hmm.
Cassian's nursing the wound. We did get a little touch of Jedi in this one.
Yeah.
Sort of, kind of. Which
Ray's grandma.
I hate when we do stuff like this because that just takes everything out of when gone am I, the last of the Jedi will you be. Except for Ezra and Ahsoka, and now this grandma lady. And
nobody ever called her a Jedi. She doesn't even call herself a Jedi.
True.
She's just a force healer. A force healer. We'll say.
Yeah, and, force sensitive. That she can sometimes heal people.
Well, it's kind of like Chirrut in Rogue One. He's a force sensitive, but he's not a Jedi. He was like what was it called? A monk of the wills or something like that.
Guardian of the wills. Yes.
Yeah.
I go with the force, and the force is with me.
Gotta love Donnie Yen.
But see, she's a force sensitive, but she's old enough that she would have been identified by the Jedi. So
yeah, that's true.
Back of my mind, I'm thinking either she wasn't strong enough in the force to be a Jedi, but she still has a sensitivity to it, and they said, no, never mind, we're not training you.
Yeah, because she even says sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
So maybe that's it. Maybe she got not kicked out of the order, but maybe she wasn't.
Maybe she was never recruited.
She wasn't good enough to be in the order, even though she did have some talent.
But,
maybe Mace Windu said she's too old.
Yeah.
But her ears perked up literally
when he walked by. They didn't even.
When he started walking towards the camp, I mean, she felt it instantly.
I sense a disturbance of the force.
That there was something special about him.
So she called him a messenger, and when you think about Rogue One, it's like
Yeah, everything's through.
All the puzzle pieces are fitting together.
Mm-hmm.
And of course she healed him too, and he got on to Bix about the whole, force healer. Can't believe you're doing this. Yada yada yada.
Well, he brought up Marva. Marva had one, and it didn't do anything. It was basically called the person a scammer,
a fraud,
like a palm reader. Psychic.
And then I loved when he left. So he gets on the U-Wing. They fly off to Coruscant, not Coruscant. What you call it?
Corman.
They're after Dedra, and the guy comes out. He's like, you're not cleared to leave. Blah blah blah. And he's like, look, the minute I don't have free will, the minute I can't leave without permission, that's the minute I'm done. And it's coming.
Yeah, Colonel Draven. I hate that guy. He was the guy that in Rogue
One, yeah.
In Rogue One that basically put the hit, sent out the X-Wings to go kill Galen.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of his name. He went behind Mon Mothma's back.
He said, forget what you heard in there. There will not be an extraction. You should
asshole.
So not a big fan of his, but they get to the thing. The guy working the desk at the hotel.
Yeah, the quote. Yeah.
Is the porter from the last, was it the last set of episodes or the episodes before that? Yeah. So he's running the desk now. And of course, they're talking in code he knows who he is. He recognizes him. And of course he's talking in code, here overlooking the plaza. Like, oh, perfect. And then she will turn you in. So basically he was like, whatever you're doing, you need to do it fast and get out of here because she will turn you in. So, and of course they're checking on, what was it? Imperial landing permits or something along that lines. But then we get into the massacre itself. Just
Man.
that episode again, brutal but great. The build up of the people they move the he sees them move the barricades back. He's like, oh, they're opening the square. No, they're not opening the square. They're barricading themselves in. They're locking themselves in. Something bad's about to happen. And he gets out of there, and just the tension that's created from the crowd, everybody's chanting and doing their thing.
It's so good.
God, it's again just
Well,
amazing.
and that part of it, it just showed just how unorganized that the front is, because Cassian is he's got eyes right there, and he's saying, this is what they're doing, and they're like, no, then the cell's like, well, no, they're too busy because, they've opened up the plaza. Let's all go down there and protest, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, no.
It's a trap.
But nobody listens.
Yeah.
Well, and even
they were like all doing their own thing too. It was like, guys,
And Ryland, the one guy, his daughter's also in that cell. He's telling them it's a trap. Don't go there. And and I think at the beginning of was it this episode? Must have been the last episode where you're in the rebel cell and they're all arguing because none of them can agree what to do.
It was the first episode of this arc.
Yeah.
Where they were arguing with each other. Yeah.
And he's trying to keep them calm and like, okay, you can't do this, da 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 da. He's warning them this whole time. He sees what's going on, but you got your young bucks in there that think they know. No, we gotta show them force and blah blah blah. And
when
that worked out well.
When the stormtroopers showed up, and they were just they were positioning themselves around the plaza, and it's like, oh geez, fish in a barrel right here. And then you got the arrival of all the rookie,
I
don't know, policemen,
whatever.
Yeah, these are boys. We need men.
And then is there going to be a problem? And I was like,
well, even Dedra said, she was kind of disgusted by it. They're just children, But yeah, that Captain Cato, I believe is his name, the crisis specialist. He had that all planned. He creates crisis.
Well, yeah, because
exactly.
Because the shot that killed the security guard, the policeman, I'll just call him a policeman because that's what we'll call him. He wasn't a stormtrooper, but the shot that killed the policeman came from an Imperial. That was an Imperial shot that got him. But because the crowds were all there, it was like, oh, look, they're shooting the Imperial police force. We better start shooting them because they're armed and they're shooting us.
Well, and that was the sole purpose of having rookies in there, even though they had a captain or whatever. I don't think he was very experienced either. But knowing that they had rookies in there trying to hold the line, and then you have that shot that's fired that kills one of the rookies, he didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
He was just like, open fire, retreat, open fire. Yeah. And then, the shit show begins. All planned.
And it was all planned, and I loved too the way that they showed it, but they didn't really show it. I mean, there was stuff happening that you were supposed to see because that progressed the story, but then there was stuff happening in the background that you didn't see, but you could hear it happening. You heard those blasters going off. You heard people screaming and people running, and all of that added to the thing. But then we get Andor. Cassian is looking for what's his name, who's run off with the rebel cell because he's got his little girlfriend over there.
woman.
It's like, yeah, he needs to stop thinking with his other head and and get his
Whatever
mind
do
on
you
the,
mean?
get his mind on the game. Andrew, I'll explain that one later after your mom goes to bed.
It's like in Guardians, if the thing between my legs had a hand, I could have landed it too.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, they're separated. Andor's calling him. We got to get out of here, dude. We got to go.
Yeah, Wilmon, he's like, no, my girlfriend, you know.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna bring her with us. It's like, dude.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's every man for himself now. Just get back to the ship.
It was like you did all that work to get out, and then you're like, I'm gonna go back into the fire. It's like, no, she is buying you time because she was doing the radio call out to people. I thought that was a cool thing when it was showing the stuff, and then you had the radio off in the distance.
Yeah,
or overlaying that. It was cool.
I loved too. I'm going to jump back to the other episode because this was another part of the other episode that really I thought was great. I hadn't ever thought of it before, but them just kind of, you know, you had the scenery going on, but you had the newscasts playing in the background. You know, and they're talking about all the stuff that's happening there. You know, all
paid news propaganda.
It sounded legit though. It did not sound like. It sounded like a legit newscast. You know, it did not sound like a fake hokey. Well, we're in the middle of a TV show, so you know it sounds like this. No, it sounded good. I mean, it was like full on CNN, Fox News good. So I was just, I was impressed.
Hold on, Mom. GNN's on now. Gorman News now.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Copyright.
But yeah, because so you mentioned that, but then you get Cyril.
Oh man,
he escapes. Because she had him locked up. She
Yeah.
told him, she was like, "Don't go anywhere," and he got out because he's looking for. He was looking for
Andor.
Cassian. Yeah. It's and
it's been years since Cassian has ever seen Cyril.
Yeah,
well, I don't know. Was he specifically looking for Cassian? Because why would he there on Gorman?
Oh, that's true.
Well, no, I don't know. I'm sure it was a surprise though when they finally came face to face. And
he was surprised. But I think he just went out into the chaos because he was having a meltdown.
Oh yeah.
He just could not believe that he was played that way. And I loved it when he did go up to confront her, again, saying, "What have you done?" And, he's choking her and everything. And then she finally says, well, you didn't seem to mind the promotions.
Yeah. And she was like, "We'll get out of here."
Yeah. But by that point, he just realized, he's just realized that, I was played. I was played by the woman I guess love. And
I mean,
played by what he's believed in all these years.
Mm-hmm. Well, and you can tell. So that I'll just jump ahead real quick. Just talking about Deidre, the scene, because there's a scene it was in the trailer where she's doing this with her collar, and I had thought it was like a force choke, but it was like she's like suffocating in the environment that she's like she can't escape.
I told you guys that was a panic attack.
Yeah.
Because everybody was saying, "Oh God, Vader's there and he's force choking her." I'm like, no, she's having a panic attack.
Dave was like, "I see it all the time at the clinic." Okay, I know.
We do see it a lot.
Anxiety. I mean, mine's not that bad, but it's just like, it's just like, get me out of here. And then she does the card mood, which I thought was just hilarious. She has her breakdown, and then all of a sudden she's just like, straight to her.
She does the skirt hug. Yeah.
Yeah. Picard move. That's what I call it. Star Trek for those of you who don't know.
If you don't know who Picard is, we also need to take you out as well. Come on.
Yeah.
Like,
I saw a thing on that once. Basically, it's the uniforms did not they fit fine, but not really. So every time you stood up, you had to do the little tug to fix it to make
But
it
But
go
even when
down.
they went to the newer uniforms, it was just such a force of habit, and it was so well known by then that he had to keep doing. Well, he would do
And
it
it become
sometimes,
part
and
of-
his communicator would pop off.
It became part of the character. So, and all of them did it except for Deanna. I don't think Deanna did it because she had different uniforms. But
Onesies,
yeah.
basically.
Anyway, we digress. But then you finally get the showdown between Cassian and Cyril. They run into each other, and Cyril.
I didn't know Cyril was that strong. I mean, he
hey,
just
I'm
like
telling you, I agree with Debbie here because
yeah.
Cyril was having a meltdown at this point. He was pissed off. We already know he's within the last year he's grown a set, so he has
no fear at this
more
point.
manly at this point.
Mhm.
Chances are during this time he's probably been working out. You know, he's
Probably,
like,
yeah.
I've got all this new, so I need to look good for my lady and blah blah blah.
Also, he started out as a cop.
Oh yeah, that's true too.
Yeah, when he's got the adrenaline rush too, so he's probably just like,
But yeah, that was just all of his frustration, and he's been searching for Andor this whole time.
Guys, it's been what, 4 years at this point?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Andor has lived rent free in this guy's head for 4 years. You know, that has been his sole purpose, is to find him.
Yeah.
And then when Andor finally says, "Oh, you know, he's getting ready to kill Andor," and Andor's like, basically, "Who the hell are you?" And it's just like, you just see him just deflate, defeat, you know, and then it gets a headshot, which I thought was hilarious.
I thought it was that was kind of brutal though too for a Star Wars. I mean, that was. I mean,
I know.
Got him in the friggin' head.
And it was chef's kiss.
Right. That's the way to go. Like if I'm gonna die, like that's a way to go there, you know.
And then even after he's dead, Cassian kind of takes a moment and just kind of looks at him like, again, who the hell are you? Why were you taking out all your frustrations on me?
By the way, I gotta say, if Diego Luna, actually, if this show gets no Emmy nominations or awards, I mean, I know awards aren't everything, but just the performances alone and the emotion that the actors portray is just amazing.
If this if this only gets nominated for like special effects, because Star Wars is always going to get nominated for special effects, or
of course,
but
or soundtrack,
right?
But how does this compare? And this is for Andrew because I know he's watched it. The Penguin, because we both loved it.
Ooh,
yes, Penguin was great.
That, you know what?
That should get awards too. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, because I know the Penguin won some early awards, but it has been nominated. I don't think it's won any. It has been nominated for Emmys yet. I don't think. I don't know, dude. That's a good question.
What are you talking about, Steph?
Oh, I'm so into this. Don't even have the chat up. How about that?
You know, that's a good question, Debbie. Because
I love the Penguin. Also, a callback to the old guy. What kind of being are you, and caused him to hesitate long enough to get shot?
Well, of course you don't. Was it in this arc, or was it in one of the previous arcs?
That's the thing, though. Okay, here's the thing.
Okay. Yeah, the like the Gorman old guy.
Rylan.
Riley, yeah. But to answer your question, Debbie, I might actually go with Andor. It could just be recency bias, but I get the same feeling.
Split awards.
Because I get that same feeling with it, you know.
It won't happen.
Yeah.
It won't happen. They'll never go against each other. Penguin dropped in 2024. Andor dropped in 2025. It's two different times. So there'll be two different awards. They'll be in two different award seasons.
But Penguin dropped
see.
late 24.
Let me just
but it's
Google.
Let's see.
Let me look up.
I don't know how.
September
I
of
only watch
2024
highlights on TikTok during awards
Oh, actually,
season.
so the Penguin, if a project releases after December in a year, it can't be for the following year. But it's saying that the Penguin will be nominated for 2025 Emmys because it's started in November, I think.
It started in September.
Oh, September. So it ended in November. Okay, yeah. So yeah, they'll potentially be head to head. So yeah.
And then when Captain Cato, it's interesting because he reminds me of Tarkin. Just, his calm voice, compare that to Krennic, who's always, in your face, shouting at
Loud
you,
and
basically.
boisterous.
Yeah. But this guy, he must have served under Tarkin because he acts just like him, very cool, calm, collected, just give the order, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, when he gives the order, when he says, put them out there, and then all the X's go out there.
Yeah.
And then, people,
I
they
know.
were
I was
being
like, whoa.
thrown like rag dolls. I was like, holy shit. They're strong, but we're talking being thrown across the pond. And it's just like, holy heck.
And then Andor was like, I'll take one.
They were scary. And even when I'm going to call him K2 because that's who he ends up being. But when K2 starts chasing Andor and Willman, and they're both shooting at him, no effect whatsoever. And I was just like, I thought Willman was going to be the goner.
Yeah.
Because I was like, K2's going to get Willman. But then Sam, the guy who got Cinta killed a couple arcs back, redeemed himself
and smushed KX.
Yeah.
But you know what? It was
too.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just K. There was a bunch of those KX robots out there.
Yeah, there was like 8 or 9 of them, or maybe 10.
And that in itself was frightening too, because they were just going nuts.
I was about to get up from my chair and start running. I was like, ooh.
That was full on Terminator kind of stuff.
Well, and those people, I'm not sure if those things had ever been seen before. They might have been a new development.
True.
No, I do not. Because Thrawn got thrown from Rebels we're 1 year before the Battle of Yavin in this next arc. And Thrawn at this point has already gone into, been launched to the whatever.
Peridia.
The other universe.
The other galaxy.
Yeah. So no, I doubt it. I'm waiting. God help me, I'm waiting. I want, and I honestly thought it was going to happen in the last episode here, episode 9. I would have given anything to see Ian McDermott make an appearance. Get him all dressed up. They were in the Senate. They were doing Senate stuff, and again, the tension on this one, because you've got Mon, and so you jump back to Coruscant. Mon Mothma's getting ready to make her iconic speech. That again has been in all the history books. We saw it in Rebels. I don't think it was the same speech.
It's different. Yeah,
because she's given the speech in front of the Senate. She's prepping her speech.
The one in Rebels was like her retirement.
Well, I think the one in Rebels, because the way this one ended, it was like they cut her off, but then she said something about I need to finish making my speech, or I need to make my speech somewhere else, or something along that line. And I was like, okay, this is where the Rebels one is. He's taking her to perform the Rebels speech or whatever,
Mhm.
or the speech that we see in Rebels, and then
Yeah.
Syndulla and that crew will take her to Yavin 4 because that was season 2, episode 9, I think.
Yes.
Season
Season
3,
three?
episode
Okay.
18.
You sure?
I thought it was 9. I think it's episode 9.
I was gonna say I thought I saw somebody say it was 2.
I don't remember.
Are we talking about her speech on Rebels?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Season 3, episode 18.
Oh, okay.
Special cargo or something like that.
Well, I bought the Reign of Empire book.
Have you read it yet?
Year. No, I'm gonna start it because this, especially episode 9, I was like, ooh, Mama.
Yeah, that sets all this up.
Okay.
Everything that her and Bail Organa went through, and well, some of the other senators, all the shit that went down, all the crap that they were put through.
Mhm.
But
Because I know I get that sometimes that stuff's boring to some people, but I like it. I don't know.
It just gives you more background and more history.
That's also something that Andor is doing really well is the political intrigue. They're making these political storylines interesting as opposed to what they did in the Phantom Menace, and making it just a means to convey plot.
Right.
Andor is making it a means to convey character, which is a huge difference.
Well, and that's what I love and respect so much about Tony Gilroy as a writer, is he always says nothing is unnecessary. Everything he writes has a purpose or will lead to something, even if it seems a little like, what was that about?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Now, I don't know if you've seen this on TikTok today. I meant to send it to you guys. I totally forgot.
Well,
but Gilroy was talking about Tony. He was talking about there was a K2 episode, horror episode.
Oh, yeah, I did see that.
But they couldn't do it because of time constraint and budgets.
I shared that article in the. I shared that article in the Facebook group because I saw that and I was like, "Ooh,
that would have been good."
I must have missed that, but I'd seen it on TikTok. But I was like, "Well, that would have been interesting."
But then you've got basically what this episode is Mon. The build up to Mon's initial speech in front of the Senate. She obviously there's listening devices all over the place. They're tracking them down. Everybody's listening to everybody. Mon knows that her driver is crooked.
ISB
working for the Empire. But then you've got she goes and the guy playing Bail Organa. I like him.
I did too. I think he's doing a good job.
I think he's doing a fine job covering for.
Well, people were acting like really shocked, and I'm like, okay, him replacing Jimmy Smits was announced a while back. Why are you acting surprised now? Because Jimmy got caught up in scheduling conflicts.
Yeah, I think
it's not like it's a permanent.
Right.
It's not like it's Jimmy Smits is never going to play Bail again. No, this is
and
Jimmy
the
had
funny
other
thing
stuff
too
going
was
on. So
some people were like, "Well, why is the character even in the show?" And I'm like, "Do you know the history of Star Wars?" Like, and recastings
kind of critical to the whole
thing.
And
recastings too, while they're rare in Star Wars, they happen. Name any franchise, any big character has been recast. Like, I mean, it happens.
Brody,
it's like, right? Exactly.
Bruce Banner,
exactly. Yeah,
twice.
James Bond.
Yeah.
So,
but I couldn't believe because there was some uproar. There were some people that were really upset about that. And I'm like, okay, this has been all over the internet, at least for the last month or so.
You know how Star Wars fans are. They make a big deal out of everything, and they think every little they think every little change that would ever happen
shoes he wore in the comics.
Franchise.
Well,
now it would have been bad if they had picked a black guy or a white guy.
Right.
know.
Then it'd be like,
Somebody
wait a minute.
made him a
And I
woman.
could say, something's not right here, but no, they picked
They picked somebody that looked a little bit like Jimmy Smith.
Yeah.
So-
Benjamin.
Brat.
What's his name? Huh?
Is it
Brat.
a Brat? Brat. Yeah.
Brat. I always want to say Pratt, and I'm like, no, that's Chris. But yeah,
Wrong
he's a
franchise.
good actor.
Yeah.
He's been in Marvel.
Yeah.
So it's like,
and all that means now is that when you go to get your Bail Organa Black Series action figure signed, you're going to have to get it signed by another guy now.
Yeah.
That's all it means.
Darn it.
It's not just Jimmy Smith's. Now you got to get it.
You
signed
go
by
to Jimmy
Benjamin Bratt,
Smith's,
too.
you say, "Can you sign this?" And he goes, "That's not me." Yeah.
Hashtag not my bail.
You should do that. In fact, find the character find the figure from the Benjamin Bratt one and find the Jimmy Smith's one, and then get Jimmy Smith's to sign the Benjamin Bratt and Benjamin Bratt to sign the Jimmy Smith's.
Cam, the same people that would start that hashtag are the same people that are doing Renew the Acolyte.
actually, you say that, Cam, and I
Yeah.
actually seen that hashtag.
Oh
Yeah.
God!
Oh, really?
Not my
Of
bail.
course.
Not
Of
my
course you
bail.
have.
Oh my god! I think they're trying to start the "not my Luke," or something like that.
Guys,
Like,
this is not the same. Come on.
you people, I swear, anything
Yeah.
to bitch over.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess they can't find anything else to complain about concerning Andor, so they have to complain about that.
It'd be no different if they couldn't get the voice actor of an animated character to play the live action version.
They did. Ahsoka.
Right. Yeah, exactly. You're not going to say, "Oh, that's not my Ahsoka." It's like, oh, who
Why
cares?
is she always
Like,
crossing her arms like that?
right. I mean, I get there's definitely the difference, but it's not enough to be like,
Yeah, but Ashley is the only Ahsoka.
I may
It's
still
just
be
like,
living in
oh
my
my
parents'
God.
basement, but my opinion,
I mean, I would have loved to have had Ashley,
yeah.
but she just doesn't have that training
Mm-hmm.
where
That too.
Rosario does,
Yeah.
as far as stunt work and all that crap.
Mhm.
Because
And that-
Ashley,
that's
as
what
far as I
makes-
know, she's only been a voice actor. So
And that's what makes Star Wars action so engaging, is seeing the actors doing the work.
Mm-hmm.
But then you've got Mon and Cassian, of course, goes, I have friends everywhere, and goes and saves her, gets her out of the Senate building after the
Yeah, because
her speech.
one of the people that was supposed to get her out was also ISB, right? Not the just drive with that
on
lady.
Bale's team,
Yeah,
yeah.
somebody on Bale's
exactly.
team, yeah.
Yeah.
And he shot 2 or 3 of them too, which was Mon was just like, you shot him.
She shot Beska, which was the bad person on Bale's team.
Mhm.
and he shot her driver, Clovis.
Yeah.
She's so confused. She doesn't know what is going on. I mean, she's been told that Erskine's been working with Luthen this whole time. She's pissed off about that. Well, she dismisses him, actually.
Mhm.
And then, you got Cassian just killing people left and right. And then what I thought was interesting, I'm going back just a little bit in this episode, when she's practicing her speech in the plaza by herself, and then Luthen comes. Of course, that's when he tells her, Erskine works for me. But I thought it was interesting that he didn't do his persona. The wig was gone. It was just him.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm beginning to think, and even when he meets Cassian, before Cassian goes into the Senate building, and he tells him, no Yavin for me. I'm not going to Yavin. And I think he has now realized that, okay, this is bigger than me now. This is beyond me. If they catch me, my work has already been done. It's,
Right.
things are set in motion. But I just thought it was interesting. He didn't come in with his antique collector persona, because they're two totally different things.
Well, even the lady that works with him, her hair was down. It wasn't up in the.
Oh
No,
yeah,
it wasn't.
Clea or Clea,
Yeah, it
oh,
is.
whatever her name is. Yeah.
And that rhymes with Leia. That's all I remember. So.
It's
Oh,
But yeah, I can't believe it's over next week. It's crazy.
I know, it's wild.
It's like,
So-
darn it.
oh. Was it this episode? Yeah. Episode 9. Bix's basically Dear John letter.
Yeah.
I was
and
like,
it was almost like she took that Force healer's words to heart. Like, you have something better inside of you, and I'm holding you back, basically. And because I'm holding you back, I'm leaving. So that you.
well, and then the talk that Vel came in and told her that Dodonna and the other dude, Draven,
Mhm.
you know, have say, you know, we need him here,
Yeah.
you know.
Mhm.
So between all of that, and then she said she's been having dreams. I mean, it was said very quickly and, you know, nothing much was made of it, but I was like, Force dreams or just premonitions? What's going on here? But yeah, but that was so sad. I mean, I was
Mhm.
kind of glad because I had predicted she would die in this
Yeah, I
episode
did
or
too.
in this arc. So I was like, well, I'm glad I was wrong, but this just makes this so much sadder because
Exactly.
you know, she's saying, you know, when this is done, when we have won, we'll be together again. And I'm like, oh no, you won't.
Makes me think,
You
if she ever.
He's not going to live that far anyway.
I was gonna say, it makes
And
me
it
wonder if she ever finds out.
That's what I was gonna say. I wonder if she ever finds out who.
Or, hey, you know what? We got 3 more episodes to go. She might die. She might
That's
still yet
true.
die.
Yeah.
But still, that was so sad. I was just that was the part I was like tearing up at. I was like, no, hun, you're not.
Since we're on the topic, I was gonna say our fan question. We had one fan question from Garrett, and he was asking about this part of Biggs. He said, "Anyone else feel like the way Biggs got written out was a cop out?"
Maybe
it
a
had
little
to happen.
bit.
It had to happen because
Yeah.
if she didn't leave or die, Andor wouldn't have stayed around.
Mhm.
I mean,
he
he was
had
wanting
already
to-
said, "Look, I've got this one more thing, and then I'm
Right.
done.
Yeah,
I'm
he's
leaving.
like, "Yeah, I'm out of here.
I'm
Yeah.
settling
I'm
down.
done. Let's go find a quiet place, live a peaceful life, like Jenner or Gail and tried to do in Rogue One. It's a
Yeah.
peaceful life. She realized that he would never do what he was destined to do, basically, you know, be the messenger. So yeah, no, it wasn't a cop out at all. It had something had to have happened. Either she left or she died, because otherwise, Cassian would have talked her out of it, and they would have left.
And again, we've got 3 more episodes left. Who's
Yeah.
to say she won't die?
Because I mean,
So-
you got to think about how he is at the beginning of Rogue One. Has he just been away from her this whole time, or maybe like you said, David, maybe he tries to get back to her, she dies, or he's sent off, and we meet him at the beginning of Rogue One. Maybe that's why he is the way he is. Like he thought he was going to see her again, and he's told no.
I'm trying to think what events would happen after this, because like you said, we got 3 more episodes.
And
Mhm.
it's
So-
it's all 1 year before the Battle of Yavin. So you've got
So it's like,
maybe a hunt for Jen Erso, tracking her down,
Yeah.
because we know that Galen is in charge of building this super weapon.
I don't know. I was just trying to think, you know, what events
Yeah, that's a
what
good
events
point.
are left, basically.
Well, I had read somewhere that I mean, I don't know how true this is, but I had read somewhere that the last episode of Andor takes place like 5 days before the beginning of Rogue One.
Fine, I'll rewatch Rogue One after Andor.
Oh, I
They
will.
did.
No, I'm good.
I wait until it's all over with, and then I will watch Rogue One.
I watched it last weekend on the 4th. I'm good. I'll go watch it again though. I'm not going to complain about it.
Yeah. I was playing
Because-
on Disney Plus. They have a live channel of Star Wars, and I was gonna turn it on, and it was Rogue One, and I'm like, nope, I'm waiting.
Not yet. I don't want it
Yeah,
to be
not-
spoiled.
Yeah, don't spoil the end of Andor.
Well, I tell you, I don't know if it was Tony Gilroy or if it was Diego. Maybe it was both of them, because they said watch Rogue One after Andor because it's going to hit a lot differently,
Wow.
which it already has. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang, it's gonna be like
Just
1 in the
more so
morning.
now.
Mm-hmm.
So, Debbie, did we miss anything?
K2.
Oh, K2, of course.
That's right.
I mean, what?
Unless I've done something to offend you, can you please turn that elsewhere?
Yeah.
It's like, who's this
I
guy?
thought that was great.
Yeah.
They had him all strapped down, and then all the guns are pointing at him. I was like,
Mhm.
the guns did not help you on Gorman. I don't know what you think it's going to do here.
Tie-down straps helped them on Gorman either.
Exactly. I
So-
just thought that was funny. That made me
Or,
laugh
and what the goggles were for either. I don't
Yeah,
know
what-
exactly.
because of sparks,
Yeah. I don't
Watch
know.
or
out.
That
maybe
would
they
be
thought he was going to blow up. I don't know, because they
But
did
anyway,
that
so yes,
cortex swap.
K2SO is now among us, which means he will be featured fairly predominantly. My guess would be in the next 3 episodes. So
Yeah, because I can see where maybe some missions with Cassian, getting the
Mhm.
tweaks or getting it tweaked to where he's working well. Maybe there's a bit of comedy where K2 screws up or something.
we had a lot of drama
Yeah.
in these last 3 episodes. So maybe it's time to lighten
At
So
least
calm
one
before-
episode where it's funny
lighten it a
shit,
little bit. Yeah,
Give us some calm before the next storm. That's Rogue One. you
right.
know?
Yeah, I don't know if it'd be. I would assume they would end. The 3rd episode would be the big episode because it's the finale.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Too bad it's not like over an hour.
Because episode 8 was the main event of this arc. I mean, not to take anything away from episode 9, because that was really important. We got to see a lot of important things, but
there was a lot of, for those saying that it was boring, there was a lot of action in both of these.
I know,
All
I was
3
like,
of
what's
these
boring?
episodes, really. So there was nothing boring in any of these 3 episodes. These are pinnacle Star Wars right here. So, in my opinion,
Definitely agreed.
so did we miss anything, Debbie?
I don't think so. I
We
think
covered a lot under an hour. I'm impressed.
We stayed.
The
we were
hotel
focused.
dude, he tells Cassian
Mhm.
rebellions are built on hope.
Yeah, we got the
Which,
the
of
hope
course,
I was
line.
like, he
what
said the
he
thing.
says.
You know.
Oh, there it was. He said the thing.
Yeah, because he says that to Jin, and then Jin says it in that
In the
meeting of
right.
yeah.
Mhm.
So I was just like, oh, and on to next.
Poetry. Everything's coming
It's
together.
poetry.
Yeah, there you go. It rhymes.
You got it from a bellhop. I was like, of all the places for that quote to come from, there's a hotel clerk, bellhop, whatever he was.
Yeah.
Shameless plugs. What do we got tonight, Debbie?
I was
It's
just
Thursday.
informed. Yeah, I know. I was just informed. No Star Trek tomorrow because it is Mother's Day weekend. Well, I would assume no Geek Gauntlet Saturday.
I haven't heard anything.
Yeah.
I don't know. Monday we'll be back. Are we starting? Jessica Jones Monday?
Sure.
I didn't know.
I'll get with you later, Andrew. We'll
Okay.
figure something out. But yes,
Yeah.
let's start Jessica Jones.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Well, we
Well,
don't
we
know
can
what we're
work
doing
on it.
Monday.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
Marvel related. I can
Well,
tell
we-
you. It's
well,
Marvel
we-
related.
We might have something special in the works, so we may or may not start Jessica Jones. We'll see.
TBD.
Yeah. Tuesday, over on the Sith Dominion channel, they are doing watch parties for Andor. Wednesday, we always have a new episode of War of the Stars come out, and then Thursday, Andor.
Season finale.
At some
Series
point, I
finale.
assume we'll talk about Underworld.
Yeah, I watched that today.
That'll be the week after next. Yeah. Oh,
And
you
then
haven't
we'll get
watched
the-
it yet? You didn't watch it?
No,
on
I
the
did.
4th? Oh,
Well, I was busy on the 4th, but
Is he doing what?
well, I went to see Thunderbolts, and then I had a Bible study in the afternoon, and then Cam's show right after. So we did talk about Revenge of the Sith. So I did do some Star Wars stuff. But
It's like a 45-minute watch at tops.
yeah.
yeah, I know. That's why I watched it today, because I was like, maybe we'll talk about it. Or ILM. I don't know.
Yeah, because I have questions in it regards between what happened in Underworld
Mhm.
as far as Ventress and what
Well,
possibly could happen with Thrawn in Ahsoka.
So week after next, we will talk about Underworld. We'll go over all 6 episodes. We'll do all 6. Do everything all at once.
Yeah.
Yay! Cam, shameless plugs. What do you got?
Yeah, I this past Sunday we went on for Cam and Focus Weekly to discuss Revenge of the Sith, as was mentioned earlier. Some great discussions that arose from that. I also have a Thunderbolts first impressions video up on my channel.
Very good.
Yes, I saw it in theaters. I thought it was fantastic. And this coming Sunday, per a request that Debbie made quite a while ago, we are going live for Cam and Focus Weekly again to cover Blues Brothers.
You're going to go on Mother's Day?
That's Mother's Day. Son of a bitch.
That's
It's
the
late
best
enough in the
thing
day,
about
it's
having a
fine.
show
I
on
hate to
Sunday.
be the bearer of bad news. I know you
Yeah.
complained about this last week. All these holidays are ruining my show.
You can always record it ahead of time.
Yeah, I might have to get with you guys about that.
I mean, I'll be free that evening, so it's
Yeah, well, we'll figure it out.
I do have a mother. I'll say that just in case anyone.
I know. We've seen her. She's been on the show before.
That's right. When she's not playing Call of Duty, she will sometimes come in here.
And she makes little cameos.
Yep.
I haven't seen her for a while though.
Yeah.
Well, usually she just sticks her hand through the door and waves, but my camera doesn't.
Sometimes she comments too. I haven't seen her commenting either.
Yeah, what the hell's
had
going
a
on?
she had a
Have you
party she was
forbidden
going
her
to.
from coming on?
Yes,
It's
I have
like losing a
forbidden her.
regular guest.
Yep.
Telling you.
I told her until she can master the Palpatine Fortnite dance, she's not allowed to watch any of the shows. So, I'm kidding. She
I
had
don't
a
know
party.
what that
She had
means, but it sounds funny.
it's Palpatine's in Fortnite, and
Yeah, they're all in Fortnite.
I saw the video David shared, and I was like, "Oh, that's funny."
Andrew, do you have anything shameless plug wise?
Nothing hasn't already been mentioned, really. So, yeah, I'll let you do the big
Cool.
boy.
The end of this month on May 30th and 31st and June 1st, Andrew and I will be at Fan Expo Dallas. I've got a bunch of free stuff to hand it out, so come and find us.
See that
Say
big
hi.
Lego set behind David?
No,
That's not the
that.
one.
That's
It's
not
the one that you can't see.
Yeah, it's this one right here. Ahsoka's Jedi Starfighter. I keep it by the computer so that I can have it. But yes, we're gonna be giving. I've got that. I'm giving away. I got a whole bag full of stuff over here that I'm giving away. I got stuff. I'm giving stuff away, so it's gonna be great. We're gonna be there all 3 days. It's always is a blast, and it's gonna be a blast now. All right. Anything else? Everybody's good?
I think we're good.
Everybody's good. All right, then. That is going to do it for us tonight. Y'all all have a great, great weekend. We will see all of you next week right here on the Cantina Happy Hour. Y'all all have a great rest of your weekend and a weekend. We'll see you all. May the force be with you all.
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
Pocket sand. Yeah.